Big Smooth as he made his arrival, showing up earlier this afternoon. Welcome, fans, to the NBA on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg. Great to have you with us. And the Wizards head back to Washington after today's contest. And making a change here, the Wizards. Here's Wall. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Magic in Orlando. So with Arenas on the bench, here's the 5 for Flip Saunders right now. Big Smooth, he's in at shooting guard. Howard is out there with Al Thornton, and it's Wall and Booker. And now the first timeout called here for the Hawks. A sore spot for this Atlanta team, of course, was the dismantling of them by the Magic in the second round last year. Boy, that really took a lot out of the Hawks.
That was extremely deflating. I mean, it had to be a major gut shot to Atlanta, and especially after they had gotten by the Bucks and looked like they were ready to get on a nice roll, but then things just kind of disintegrated on them.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Kevin, I briefly spoke with Flip Saunders. Right away, he told me that personally, he likes the challenge of taking on a team with the offensive firepower they have. He said, as a coach and hopefully as a player, it's fun because it forces you to think a little bit harder. And so many times that can translate into a special performance, something we'd love to see, guys.
All right, Doris, trying to find the right matchups with that offense.
Well, that's why you try to build a versatile and deep roster so you can be ready for everything.
Nice shot by Smith. And Clark, after the Hawks postseason, they made a coaching change. And Mike Woodson had done a pretty good job getting him so far, but he really couldn't finish off the deal.
That's what it looked like, Kevin. I mean, you think about this young team, and they've got a nice core group of young players, and they have grown. But there's that issue of all those second-round losses in a row. And just getting a win in one more series could be useful.
15 consecutive conference semifinal games lost. And so here is Atlanta after the basket by Washington. Evans catches Smith. Again, the Hawks score.
Well, he's really been big for their team, finding a way to consistently get it done on the scoreboard.
And here's Wall. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Back to Howard. Lets loose for a three. Evans snatches it inside.
There's another example, Kevin, of how they're hustling to all the missed shots to get an edge in the rebounding area.
All alone in Atlanta again with the bucket. Here's Wall. Here's Big Smooth, and that's off as he tries to beat the buzzer. The first quarter has ended, and both teams have been lighting it up. Hawks ahead, leading by 7.
And they've really played well on D. It's all about teamwork and communication.
And the second quarter about to get underway. Here is Bibby. 7-point differential. So with Arenas on the bench, here's the 5 for Flip Saunders right now. Big Smooth in at point guard. Al Thornton is out there at clutch. Then there's Howard and Wall. Al Horford, an interesting combination, Clark, because he's a hard-working lunch pail type player, but he's also surprisingly skilled.
Yeah, he is. He handles the ball very well, Kevin, for a big guy. He passes it well for somebody of his size. He had more assists than turnovers, and that's not a given for most big men.
The Hawks leading by 9. Now Bibby. He picked up 15 points in their last win against Philadelphia.
That's not something you'll see very often. Got the mid-range jumper he wanted, but off target.
Here's Wall, and laid in for 2 off the good feed that time.
Excellent anticipation there, Kev. He placed that pass perfectly.
Here's Bibby. Pass to Horford. He's against Blotch. Horford dishes to Evans. Bibby passes to Smith. 5 to shoot. The Hawks need to get off a shot here. Kept alive. And the layup is good. Smith's got 10 points.
Nice. Big momentum builders, those second chance points.
Wizards trail by 9. Here's Big Smooth. Again, the Wizards score. Here's Bibby. And Smith slams it home.
I think it's safe to say that that'll be the dunk of the night, Kevin.
Well, who doesn't love to see that kind of finish?
We all do. Smith playing very well. 12 points and a steal. His defense has been equal to his offense today, and both have been great.
Thornton. Here's Big Smooth. Blocked. For 3, Bibby. The shot misses. And it's the Wizards taking it the other way. And this matchup with the Hawks, it's their first meeting of the season.
The first of 4 between these teams this season.
Here's Big Smooth. Watch backing down. Baseline jumper. Kept alive. Second shot opportunity. The Hawks leading by 9. Here's Bibby. It's the kind roll off the front of the rim. Bibby's got his second bucket of the night. 4 games, 1 team. That's a nice chunk of your schedule.
Exact same conference too, Kevin. So anytime you face a conference team, it's even more important and significant that you take them out.
And Smith backing in. Over Blatch. And it's Smith missing.
That shot didn't have a chance. He doesn't have the softest touch, and the defense was in his jersey. Got to look for a better shot.
And a 3. He's got 10. Here is Bibby. Right around, 7 minutes left in the second. Atlanta calls timeout. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
Well, I loved how they attacked the defense. That was impressive. They were able to get inside, draw fouls, get to the line.
Al Thornton's checked in for Washington. Poked away.
The lob was a little misjudged, and he couldn't get control of it.
The Hawks leading by 9. Big Smooth hits the reach-in call. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. The first one falls. Joe Johnson said his favorite player growing up was Magic Johnson. Do you see any similarities in their game?
You know, not really. I have not seen anybody I would compare to Magic Johnson. I mean, he was a 6'9" point guard. There has not been another guy like him. There have been 6'7" and 6'8" wing guys that handle the ball well, but there's not been another 6'9" point guard in the NBA since Magic.
Well, for the Wizards, drafting John Wall was an absolute godsend after the turmoil of the previous year.
I would consider him exactly what the doctor ordered, a dynamic point guard prospect. They had players with offensive talent, but you have to have the ball movement to be effective offensively, and I would think Wall would be a catalyst for that.
Here's Big Smooth. Gets the bucket from 20 feet away. He's got 12.
Tell you what, I like the way he's picked his spots on when to get involved in the offense.
Bibby with it. Smith kicks to Johnson. Knocks it down from 19 feet. Johnson's got 14 points. And for the Wizards, there's been questions about whether their young, talented players had a kind of winning mentality to rebuild quickly.
But you know what, Kevin? I mean, John Wall impresses me as that kind of a potential leader, a winning player who wants to do what's necessary to lead his team towards winning. So I think he'll cover that base pretty well.
You think he's got his head on straight?
I think so. He's an even-keeled, level-headed, dynamic talent.
Here's Johnson. He picked up 21 points in their last win against the 76ers in Philadelphia. Crawford right side. Takes a 3. Kept alive. Here's Smith. That's in, hitting from the low post. He's got 14.
Great on the boards here. I mean, they're really working that glass, leading to a jumping second chance point, which oftentimes can lead to wins.
Outside, Martin. Here's Big Smooth. 15 points in the game. 35 seconds left in the half. And here's Bibby. Martin against Crawford. And he's able to score the bucket. Foul called by the official. So one free throw for him right here. Josh Powell is checked in for Atlanta.
At the line for three.
Nice job at the line, and that one falls to pick up the and one. Here's Heinrich. And here's Thornton. Fires from the elbow. Scooped up.
The D didn't respect him from that distance, and now we know why.
Bibby passes to Johnson. Let's go with a three, and that's not going to fall for him. And that concludes the first half.
And welcome everyone to this early season edition of HP at the Half. For the Atlanta Hawks, they have the lead against Washington. They've got the paint on lockdown. The front court has just packed it in. Josh Smith not having any problems out there. He's got 14 points and has been a huge factor on the glass. And now the Wizards, they're not looking so good. They'll need to play with more discipline and some strong play from these two men on your screen in the...
And making a change here, the Wizards. Here's Crawford. 19-point game. Backing down is Pachulia. Now Bibby. Joe Johnson on the wing. He's guarded by Thornton. Johnson, the shot, no good. And it's the Wizards taking it the other way. Last game matched up with the Magic. A tough loss there.
In some ways, they should be fairly pleased with their play and effort, but it never feels great to take a loss, even when you do have a decent outing.
So with Smith sitting on the bench, here's the group that Larry Drew has on the floor. Maurice Evans is out there with Pachulia. Then there's Mike Bibby, and it's Crawford and Johnson. The Wizards with another miss. The break is on. Knocked loose. Here's Big Smooth. And laying it in as that one falls through. He's got 17. Big time lead they've got.
Yeah, they're playing extremely well.
Bibby with it. Back to Johnson. From downtown. That's good. And it's Bibby with the assist that time. 20 points for Johnson.
They're getting open looks now and knocking them down after struggling a bit in the first half. I mean, that just comes from understanding who you are and what you do. Stay with your game plan.
Let's go to our great sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for an update. Doris?
Well, Kevin, Jamal Crawford had the league's longest stretch of games played without a playoff appearance. He'd never made the playoffs prior to last season. Crawford said, "The thing that bothered me most about it was I actually hadn't experienced the big games in front of the crowd like that. I just think on that stage, I'm at my best." Well, he actually struggled in the playoffs last season, but practice makes perfect. Guys?
That's right, Doris. Thanks. Here's Big Smooth. 17 points in the game.
And that's his second turnover in this quarter alone.
To Crawford. It's off. This game a pretty lopsided one.
Yeah, and they need to find some answers and quickly.
Back to Heinrich. Over Bibby. And another miss by Washington.
You got to expect more out of him here. He's had a lot of difficulty this quarter, which in turn is making it difficult for them to cut into this deficit at all.
Jamal Crawford, the 6th man of the year last season. A nice piece of hardware for him in what was a spectacular year.
Yeah, he had perhaps the best season of his career. He improved his shooting percentages, and that was always a problem for him because his shot selection dragged it down. And then he also was on a playoff team for the first time.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Al Horford is checked in for Pachulia, and it's Smith in for Maurice Evans. And making a change here, the Wizards. Came close to getting the three-point play, but instead he'll go to the line to shoot two. And last season, also Crawford's first time playing in the postseason.
You know, until that point, Kevin, he had the longest streak in the league of games played without a playoff appearance for him. So nice to see that young man get some postseason action.
Some interesting stats start to pop up when you look at the Hawks. They played the 4th slowest paced in the league last year. That kind of surprises me with all their athleticism.
Me too, Kevin. I mean, you would think they would be much more committed to playing at a faster pace, especially since they've got so many guys that would seem to thrive in that kind of offense.
The Wizards with another miss. Atlanta with the ball. They're on a 10-1 run. Got a piece of it. And it's Washington's ball.
And yet another turnover from him, Kevin, just in this quarter. The defense clearly has him rattled and shaken up.
Kicks to Johnson. Takes it up. Drains it from short range. Johnson's got 25 points in the game. And you're right, Clark. He doesn't appear to be playing with any confidence.
Yeah, it's obvious, Kevin. I mean, he's a pro, but he certainly has been shaken a bit, and he knows that he has to try to move on and get to the next play and try to find his comfort zone.
It's tough to do.
Yeah, it is, on the fly.
Yep. Here's Bibby. Here's Horford. It's good. The assist this time from Bibby. Horford's got his second basket of the night. Here's Heinrich. 1:24 left in the third. Sweet move, and that one's good. 20 points for him. Here's Johnson. He's got 25.
The idea now is to try to wear them down with full court man-to-man defense.
Now Crawford. Horford up top. Bibby with it. Over Heinrich. Bibby misses. Here's Big Smooth, covered by Smith. Heinrich outside. The tray, and that one's good. Heinrich's got 5.
For a player of his skill, it's going to take a lot better defense than that.
And the Hawks with possession. They're on a 14-6 run. Johnson kicks to Bibby. Horford. And he puts it down with authority. Spike slam cam for another angle.
Does he make it look easy or what, partner? Trust me, that's not easy.
Oh, I know it. I think he could climb over the backboard if he wanted to. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Big Smooth. Good, and Heinrich gets the assist. 22 points for him.
No one really contested him at the basket that time, Kevin. He's just too good in there to leave the door open for.
Fades away. Kept alive with 4 seconds on the clock.
Good job hustling here. I mean, making the extra effort. When you're down, you have to do all of the little things, Kevin.
And they do have a slight disadvantage on the boards. So a blowout here as the buzzer ends at the end of 3. What can you say? Joe Johnson, an impressive effort here today.
Yeah, he's really been a big scorer for them. Not normally his role on this team.
As the fourth quarter gets rolling here, let's check out our Sprite Spark of the Game, presented by Sprite. Hey, Doris.
Hi, guys. Well, it was the stretch by the Hawks that garners the Sprite Spark today. They went on that offensive tear in the first quarter, and they haven't looked back, guys.
Doris, thank you. Big scoring run there was the spark they needed.
Everything started to synergize, and once the ball was...
The team just got steamrolled tonight. What are your thoughts after a performance like that?
Well, there's a lot to think about. But more than anything, we can't let games like this happen again, you know? We struggled tonight, plain and simple. I know I can play better than I did, and I know my teammates can too. We're going to do everything we can to make this the last time you see a game like this from us. I promise.